today for another episode of the Paper Shredder Repair Clinic with Tech John for GetThatPart.com. Remember to go to GetThatPart.com for all your paper shredding equipment and parts needs. We have it all. So today we're going to do today's session on what's underneath this hood, what's underneath this top on this paper shredder. How do they work? And what we'll do is we'll remove the top of this machine, and we're going to show you the components of a paper shredder, and we're going to show you the basic safety elements of the paper shredder so that you understand what actually makes these machines go. Okay, so here we are. We've removed the top cover, or the housing assembly as it's often called, and pulled it up so that you can see what's under that hood and how this machine works. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you component by component how a typical paper shredder functions so that you can see it and understand it. And we think this will be a great benefit to someone who's considering a machine. So as we go through the components of the machine, I'll start with the main motor, which is located right here. Now today we've chosen an HSM 390.3, which is one of our favorite machines. HSM builds a very simple design, a rock solid design, and that's why we've chosen it for this demonstration, so that you can see in a very simple layout, a very solid layout, one that's well proven, how a typical machine works. So on the motor here, I'll just turn the fan assembly in the back. Okay, the other side of this, of course, has a gear that's being turned by the motor shaft out here. And this is known as the first stage gear, or the primary gear, and it's the first step of reduction. This motor runs very fast, typically 1700 to 3300 RPMs in most designs, and it's reduced to a very, very slow turning cylinder back here. So there's gear reduction necessary, and often there's a second and sometimes a third stage gear to reduce it, reduce the speed, the output speed. At the end of this is two cylinders in this grinder, this mill assembly. In cross-cut machines, there will be cutters located on these cylinders. In a strip cut machine, you have either dies or opposing blades that are going to counter one another and pull paper through. Like I said, they'll counter one another, and then that allows them to grip the paper and pull it through the machine and cut it either in strips or cross-cut it. So the two cylinders are located right here and are being driven by Synchron timing gears off the final stage of the gear assembly in this box. And these two rotors or cylinders, okay, will have bearings here. There's an encoder on one side that keeps track of time on the board, and this is the Hardier machine. Oftentimes you're going to see paper strippers are located on the outside of the cylinders in this assembly, so that they're designed to take the paper off of the cylinder as it's being cut. And these are shielded in this design with these two outside shields here, so you can't see them very well. But HSM builds a very robust mill. Going further, the safety controls on this machine start right here. This is the optical sensor, and you'll see right here you have one that's designed to throw a beam of light and the other one that's designed to receive it. They will pass a beam across this input here. This is the throat, or the input of the machine where paper passes. And I'm going to go ahead and start this machine in reverse up here initially, and you can see that you have a red light on right now, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in reverse. Well, the red light's on because we have our door open down here. And I'm going to go ahead and close the door and engage the switch, and you see our light is off. So we're going to go ahead and back it up and put it in reverse. And you notice that switch is a rocker switch. It doesn't stay on in reverse, and that's by design. Now in forward, you see we have a green light. These optical sensors are going to control the operation of the machine now. when you have it in automatic, which is how this machine is built, it's not a manual on and off machine. This is an automatic machine, meaning you put it in on and then the sensors take over. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of paper in here. And you see I've broken the beam, and what that does is once the beam is broken, the logic in the board tells the board to go ahead and start the machine. And that's how most machines are built. Very simple. Break the beam and it starts the machine. This is also a problem area. Often these machines get dirty from excess oiling or just maybe paper dust. And they need to be cleaned, and you can clean them out here, the outside of the machine. You see there the hole is here for the sensor. And if you clean that with just household cleaner, you'll clean the dust off of it, and that solves a lot of problems that create a red light over here. You'll get a red light if this beam is broken and it can't start. If when you turn the machine on and it sees what it thinks is paper is in there, which is actually a lot of times just dust and dirt over the sensor. So, moving on, everything's controlled by this main board down here. And in the design that HSM has, you've got a big relay sitting here on the machine, on the board. The relay that controls the on and off cycles for the motor is actually located on this board. And these are actually the safety device logic circuits over here that are being attached to the board. Things like the door open sensor. There's also a bin full sensor underneath of this mill that flips a switch whenever the bin's full, and that turns the power off to the board as well. It's a safety. This big round thing here is a capacitor. That's a start capacitor, and most of these designs are just set up so that this helps the motor get started each start cycle. So that's as simple as they come. If you have a lot of other controls on your machine, they add to the complexity, and oftentimes they decrease the reliability as a result of that. So we really prefer to have simple rather than complicated. Okay, so as a final step, we've decided that we're going to go ahead and show you how these machines work with the hood up. So to do that, what I'm going to do is turn the machine on, and I'm going to keep it on. We're going to feed paper through the mill while the hood's up, so you can see how it's actually working here when it would be running normally. So I'm going to go ahead and start it, and then I've got some paper here that I'm going to use. We're going to feed this through. You can see the motor running, and you can see how it's going to grab paper and run it through that machine very smoothly. I've just put a lot more paper through here in one big pass. You see that? That's that big 390 there. I just shot about 15 or 20 sheets through there at a time. It didn't even grunt, and it's a real mill. I mean, this thing just eats paper. So that's how it works. You can see the motor running, how the paper's grabbing or being grabbed by the mill, and all the safety devices working. And I think that is going to wrap up our session for today. This has been another session of the Paper Shredder Repair Clinic with Tech John for GetThatPart.com. And remember, go back to GetThatPart.com. Take a look at all the wonderful machines that we have available there on site, and give us a call. Talk to me. I'm available most of the time, and you can get me when you call our main number. And I'll be glad to talk to you and help you go through some of the questions that you may have on buying a machine, or problems that you may have with the machine that you have in place and are concerned about repairs on. So I've been doing this for a long time. We have 20 years in, and that's why I look so old.